Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Laughing Through the Pain podcast. I'm your host, Elinor.
I'm Marianne.
And today is part 2 of the Love Languages episode that we did last time. Also, Happy New Year!
Yay!
Hurrah! Today's the 6th of January, so New Year, same podcast.
Same us.
Same us. Same chaos.
We haven't changed.
Who says you have to change with the new year? Anyways, so we have a couple of bullet points to go over with following our last episode with the 5 love languages. Do you want to read the first question?
I will. What languages or language do you speak? And what languages do you best well receive? Because there is a difference between a language that is spoken to you and a language that you speak. I can speak a language of gifts or acts of service or quality time to someone who best well receives that gift. That love language. But that doesn't mean that it's my love language. It means I want to speak their love language because that's the whole point. So, what languages do you tend to speak more on a regular basis?
And you mean like how I would show love to someone?
Correct. Yeah.
Ooh.
Because it can be different.
I think it is. I would say probably quality time, or I don't know. What do you think?
So I definitely do speak words of affirmation to a lot of people. It doesn't mean that it's their love language. A lot of people are not very words of affirmation-y. But it's one of those ones where I speak it as well as I receive it. So, words of affirmation is my top love language. We talked about this last week. Words can make or break me. But I also love giving words of encouragement, uplifting people, making them feel good about themselves, giving them warm and fuzzies. Again, that doesn't mean that everyone's love language is words of affirmation, and you really gotta tweak the way that you interact with people, because we're all different. We all have different love languages that we speak and different ones that we hear or receive. So, I would say that my next one is probably gifts. I really like speaking gifts, especially Christmas time or birthdays, because I don't like just giving any gift to any person. I like to make it mean something. It's personal. It's an inside joke or something that you really, really wanted and you talked about in the past. With physical touch, it's harder because I don't care for speaking a language of physical touch with just anybody. Yeah,
that was something that I was thinking of, because I don't really know how I speak to other people. I'm not sure. How do you think I speak my love languages?
I think that you speak quality time really well. Just the time that you want to spend with your friends. You really thrive in the one-on-one interactions, especially. Just being able to invest a coffee date or lunch or dinner or just hanging out. So you speak quality time really well. And you are better at physical touch than I tend to be. But again, it's not just with anyone. It's with like your closest friends.
Yeah.
You know, you're cuddly with your closest friends, and it's sweet. So those would be the 2 that I would say are your top 2 that you speak.
Yeah, I would say so. What was the other half of the question?
Let's find out.
Oh, what languages do you best well receive? Well, I think just based on the quiz we took last time, my top 2 are quality time and acts of service.
Which quality time doesn't surprise me for you.
Yeah. Acts of service was surprising.
A little more surprising.
Well, yeah, it moved up a lot in the last few years.
It did, yeah. I remember you telling me that it went up, like, how much of a percentage?
It used to be in the third spot, but dramatically, there was like a dramatic step between 3 and 2. Because at some point, quality time and physical touch kind of were on like similar percentages for a long time. But they were way more, like, it would be like, I don't know, 30% in number 2 and then like 7% number 3. Like, It was a pretty dramatic separation. And now the top 3 are pretty balanced with each other.
Mm-hmm. Look at the difference between third and fourth. 20% and 13%. Let's see.
And yours?
The language that I best receive, definitely words of affirmation, because anybody could say anything kind to me, regardless of our relationship status, whether I barely know you or whether you're my closest friend on the planet. Words mean everything to me. Words are important. A complete stranger could say, "Oh, you're so beautiful," or "Oh, you're so kind," and I'm just like, "Thank you," you know. Or at the same time, someone that I barely know could be like, "Why are you such a jerk?" And I'm just like, "No, you know." So that is definitely my strongest one. Physical touch, I don't let just anyone touch me, so that one's harder to gauge. Acts of service. Elinor and I were just talking about this before we started up the podcast. It's hard for me to do something for someone unprompted or without initiative because I don't want to inconvenience them by doing something wrong or doing something different from the way that it usually needs to be done. And it's funny because even now as I'm saying it, it reminds me of being with my ex. Because he had a very specific way of doing everything.
Yeah, I think you've told me that before.
So if I did it wrong, he would make me feel like the smallest person in the world for doing it wrong. So I honestly don't remember if this is something that I've struggled with. Like, oh, I'm afraid to do this for you, without specific instructions on how to do it and how to do it right. I honestly can't remember.
Like, if you're
before.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask if it was before you were with him or not.
Yeah. I wish I could remember, but I can't. So, interesting how that has affected my acts of service.
Yeah, it's really interesting how, just how much other people can influence our love languages. Because that's what I found with mine in the last couple of years. Because I think I went into more specifics on, like, the differences in the last couple of years for my love languages. And just, like, how dramatically different it is now from then. And it's funny because I can actually think of specific people and moments of when I could tell that there was a shift.
Any examples you'd be willing to share?
I think I shared one last time, but I'll talk about it again. When I was learning to mountain bike. And, oh gosh, I don't remember what we called him last time we talked about this. Josh. I think I called him Josh. Anyway, when I was learning to mountain bike, the friend who was teaching me, he did a lot for me. He helped me learn how to change the tube in my tire. He gave me, like, good instruction on technique. And he also showed me a lot of patience and encouragement when we would go biking together. And so I'm pretty positive that through those interactions with him is why my acts of service went up.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
And it might be why mine went down. Like on the reverse end with my ex and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because now I'm like afraid to do something for someone in case I do it wrong. And
it causes you like anxiety.
Yep. I'm like, oh, now they're inconvenienced and now they have to work twice as hard to fix what I did wrong and do the task right.
Yeah. I think for me personally, with that whole interaction, I think I began to realize like how not important, but like how cared about I felt through all that, which was something I hadn't experienced before in my life. Like I had never had anyone take the time to help me out repeatedly and have like all the patience and stuff. So I think that really like something in my brain was like, oh, we've never experienced this before. I really like this.
Give us more.
Give us more. Yeah.
That would make sense.
Indeed.
That's how you feel cared about as a person.
Okay, next one.
What are some specific ways in which your love language is spoken to you, or in which you speak a love language? If a friend is having a hard day, I tend to just, by default, my natural state is to try to fix whatever's wrong. But I've spent the last few years trying to tweak that and fix that about myself, because sometimes, I would even say more often than not, friends don't come to me with problems because they want me to fix them or get advice. They want compassion, empathy, encouragement. So I've been trying to get better at being more sympathetic, being more empathetic, and speaking words of encouragement rather than, well, have you tried switching it off and on? It's like, that's not the point right now. Sometimes you just want to be listened to.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I even, like, throughout our friendship, I've seen you grow in that way a lot.
Oh, yay.
Because you were talking about your dad, I think yesterday, and how, like, positive he can be. And I thought about the analogy that I told you about, like, when you're sitting in a dark room and someone just, like, opens up a blind and you're just like, my eyes, they burn. And how...
That's exactly it.
I was like, you introduce things in a smaller way.
The importance of small steps.
Yeah. And so, like, I was thinking about that and thinking about how you used to be and like how much you would be like, I'm just gonna turn on every single light in the whole entire world and yay,
let the light shine. Sometimes people don't like that very much because then they're like, the light burns. Sometimes you just gotta sit with someone in the dark for a little bit and be like, wow, I get it, like this sucks, you're in the dark, you can't see. It's complicated. It's tricky. It's lonely. I'm sorry. Rather than, let's solve this problem. Open up the blinds.
Yay.
Oh, now I can't see.
Yeah.
Now I have another problem on top of the problem that I had before.
Yeah, I've definitely, like, seen that growth in you.
Well, thank you. Words of affirmation. You're speaking my love language.
Yay.
Yay.
In which your love language is spoken to you.
You gave a really good example of when you and your friend went mountain biking. That's a fantastic example of someone speaking your love language and investing that quality time and that patience and everything.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really like just when I can sit with somebody, and, like, we don't even have to be doing anything, going out and doing stuff all the time and going places and, like, getting food, going hiking. Like, I don't really need that in my life to thrive. I enjoy, like, going out and doing stuff, but it is almost more meaningful to just be able to sit with somebody and just, we don't even have to talk about anything, really. You just sit and spend that time with them, and, like, stuff like that's really meaningful to me, because for me, that shows quality of connection with them. You know what I mean?
Quality over quantity. We don't have to go do 30 things together.
Yeah.
It's about the quality time, not the quantity. Quabity assurance. Like you and Margaret playing Resident Evil. She'll play Resident Evil. You'll sit there on your phone, sometimes record the inane conversations that y'all have and send them to me, and then I look at them in the morning and I'm like, oh, I love them.
So yeah, I don't know. That's how I prefer quality time to be spoken to me. It's quality. Like really solid, like, it's called quality time. Like, there have been times where I've spent time with someone and the time does not feel very quality, and it's kind of like a car stalling out every couple minutes. And you're just like, this is really awkward. I don't know how to interact with you.
It's sucking all your energy instead of giving you energy and filling you with life and love.
Yeah. I'm also pretty introverted, as a whole. Well, more ambiverted than I used to be. But there are certain people and situations where I just, like, feel the life being sucked from my body, and I'm just like, I don't want to really be here, and I want this to end as soon as possible.
That's valid. You are valid.
Thanks. What is your lowest love language? Why do you think that is?
I think we both have the same low, right? Gifts. So I enjoy receiving gifts that are spontaneous and unprompted, because I feel like if I ask for something and someone gets it for me, then it was an obligation that was fulfilled. And it wasn't a thing of the heart. Like, don't get me wrong. If I'm like, oh, I like that, and someone buys it for me, I will be thankful.
Right.
I'll be like, that was kind of you. You didn't have to do that. But at the same time, something goes off inside of me where I'm like, oh no, they just did that for me because I said something about it. And I can almost psych myself into believing that I manipulated the situation. Like, here's an example. Last night, you texted me and said, hey, do you want to get In-N-Out? And I said, oh, I would love to, but I don't have any money. And you offered to pay for me. And initially, I was so thankful. I was like, oh, you're buying me In-N-Out. Thank you. But then I thought, I hope she doesn't think I was trying to manipulate her into buying me dinner.
Oh.
You didn't do anything that would have made me think that.
Yeah.
That's just where my brain goes. If I say something like, oh, you don't have to, oh, but I want to, or, oh, I don't have any money, like you and Margaret have to deal with that for me all the time when one of you offers to buy me food.
Right.
Suddenly, I'm thinking, oh no, I hope that I didn't just manipulate them into buying me food, because I'm used to being manipulated. Like, I've been manipulated in the past, so I'm always, like, checking my own actions and thinking and rethinking. Like, it's good to keep yourself in check, but not excessively so, because then you start overthinking it.
Right.
So,
I get what you mean, though. Like, I can definitely understand the idea of, like, I don't want to be like this person, so I'm gonna not, overcompensate's not the word, but, like, overcomplicate the thought process because of that worry of, like, oh no, I don't want to be like this person.
It's almost like swinging to the other side of the pendulum.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, I'm over here. I know you can't see my hand right now, but I'm holding it above Elinor's head. I'm over here right now because I don't want to be over here. Whoosh. Now imagine my hand swinging like a pendulum to the other side. Now it's above my head. It's like you want to make a drastic difference.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go to one extreme versus the other extreme, but it's still an extreme.
Yeah.
Because by default, my brain should go, oh, that's nice of you. I'll buy you lunch today, which I did. So it really shouldn't have turned into... Now, granted, it didn't turn into me, like, stressing over it for half an hour like it would have in the past. But for a couple... Yeah, yay, growth! But for a couple of minutes, I was, like rereading my text, and I was like, was that manipulative? I have to make sure that's not manipulative. I have to make sure that I didn't... Because, people can be like that. Oh, like, hey man, can you buy me dinner? I don't have any money right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person.
No, and you definitely aren't.
Thank you. Whew.
Like, I honestly, when I texted you, I almost had this expectation of, oh, she probably doesn't have any money.
Because it's after the holidays.
It's after the holidays, and I figured you probably hadn't gotten paid yet.
Yeah, I got paid today.
So I was like, I was already with the intention of, like, I wanted to hit it out, and I wanted to spend time with you.
Aww.
And I was like,
and it worked out.
Like, I can pay for you, whatever.
Yeah. It's no big deal. It's a kind thing, and I'm very thankful. And I should just accept it and move about my day. Oh, thank you. That's nice. But I don't know why my brain wants to make a huge deal about it. Like, Margaret will yell at me. Let me love you. Let me buy you food. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, receiving gifts is also my lowest. But honestly, okay, I know we took the test, but I think words of affirmation and receiving gifts should be switched for me, personally, because, I don't know, I don't know where that thought was going, but...
You're not a super words of affirmation person?
No, and I never have been. It kind of makes me feel a little uncomfortable when people are like, oh, you did a good job, I'm proud of you. I'm just like, okay, thanks.
It's avocado.
Thanks.
It's a word of affirmation. Thanks.
Yeah. But, like, receiving gifts, I think, because I was, like, thinking about, why is it my lowest? And I think because, like, gifts as a whole are nice, and I do enjoy when people give me meaningful gifts for, like, my birthday or Christmas. Like, thoughtful things, or, like, things that, think I'll like, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, my brother-in-law is really, really good. He's the best gift giver I've ever met.
Aww.
He's always gotten me, like, really interesting and cool stuff. I'm like, dude, that's amazing. Where did you find this?
He's a thoughtful lad.
He is a thoughtful lad, for sure. But, like, just on, like, a day-to-day basis, like, gifts, I don't know. I think for me personally, I look more for somebody's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a quality of character. And gifts, to me, doesn't really show that. Because I'm not a good gift giver. I 100%, like, struggle really hard when it comes to getting gifts for people. If it's someone who I am not, like, so close to, like, I feel like I can get you a good gift, or Margaret a good gift, because I know you both well enough.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to me giving gifts to people, I always have this freak out of, like, what if they don't like what I'm giving them? Like, if, like, you were easy to buy for because you told me exactly what you wanted. And I was like, this is great. This is exactly what I need.
Lists, people.
But, like, for Margaret's gifts, I found, like, I went more so the route of, like, I know she likes jellyfish.
Mm-hmm.
And I got her, like, just a funny little gift for our friendship.
Yes. Which was awesome.
I'm glad she liked it so much.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is
loved
hilarious.
It. She loved it.
But, yeah, I don't know. As a general, like, thing, generally, like, giving gifts to people makes me really anxious. And, like, trying to find gifts for people, I'm just like, what if they don't like it? What if they think it's weird? I don't know.
Panic honk!
Panic honk! So that's, like, I guess receiving gifts personally is, like, one of those things. Well, giving gifts, I should say. It's something that I just overthink too much. But in terms of, like, receiving, like, I do like getting gifts, but like I said, I think I look more for the qualities in people that you can't tangibly see. I'm like, anyone can get anyone a gift, and that's nice. But I feel like it doesn't really show. It's not a good deterrent of, like, good character. So I think, I don't know, that's my 2 cents.
You make a good point. I'm surprised we didn't have more questions than that.
I know.
Me.
It's a short episode.
It's a short episode.
That doesn't happen very often.
I was gonna say, we can end on a really good note, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was waiting and saving this for the end because I have an exciting announcement. Drum roll, please. Our poor microphone. Your girl's getting married! Yay! Brandon came to visit over Christmas, and he stayed up through New Year's. And he came with a ring in his pocket, and he took my father out to coffee and had the conversation. And then he took me to a mountain, and we were on a bridge overlooking a frozen waterfall, and it was the perfect day. It wasn't perfect because you were sick. Like,
oh yeah, I've been sick. So for my work, we don't work from Christmas to New Year's, and I was sick basically through that whole time.
That whole week!
It was terrible.
Your week off, your vacation. Boo! Boo berries, my man.
It sucked.
Boo berries. But, I almost called you Margaret. You're not Margaret.
I'm not.
You're Elinor. Elinor was supposed to take pictures of Brandon and I in, like, a photo shoot. But then she ended up getting sick, and Brandon and I went by ourselves, and we went to this national park, and we were on top of this bridge overlooking a frozen waterfall. It was earlier in the day, not super early in the morning, but there was fresh snowfall on the ground. The sun was shining. The sky was bright blue. There was nobody there. It was so peaceful. All you could hear was the slight gurgle of water underneath the snow, which was cool. And he said, well, this seems like the perfect place to do this. And he got down on one knee and told me that he had received the permission of my father to ask for my hand in marriage. And I was like, eep! Rest in peace, editor, for knowing that you have to listen to that with headphones later. Have fun with that one, editor.
Thanks.
But yeah, so your girl, Marianne, is getting married, and no, that didn't work. That fell flat.
That was a terrible joke.
It was terrible. I'm ashamed. I can come up with a better pun than that. I won't right now because it'll take too much brain sauce. But
brain sauce.
Brain sauce. I only have so much brain sauce. But yes, Brandon and Marianne are getting married. Yay!
He has my seal of approval.
Which is amazing.
Brandon, if you're listening to this, just remember, I can hunt you down.
And she sees you when you're sleeping. She knows when you're awake. So yeah, that's my big announcement. I was saving it till the very end of the episode. And yeah, I'm very excited.
Hooray!
We're getting married in September. At the end of September. Do you remember? Remember.
What is like the 23rd day?
Do you? Have you seen that? Have you heard the audio on TikTok where it's like, "Do you remember? Remember."
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah.
Remember.
I have indeed.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
It's a fun word. But I wasn't ready for that. It was on my lip. I think that's all that we have for today.
Wow. Short episode.
We're going to go celebrate Margaret's birthday. Happy birthday, Margaret.
Happy birthday, Margaret.
Yay.
Hooray.
And then we get to celebrate your birthday since you were sick on your birthday.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That sucked. I'm also, like, I'm fine now, but I still have that stupid lingering cough. That just likes to, hang around.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, please.
Please, sir.
Go away.
May I have some less?
May I have some less?
May I have some less?
Yeah, I feel like we should have talked about more, but I really don't know.
My mind, unfortunately, has gone now to, we need to go to King Soopers and do some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I just got a notification from the library, so I need to stop to King Soopers. Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, this has been the podcast. Oh, gosh. Anyway, I guess that's all we have for you today. Follow us on Facebook, by the way, because we made a Facebook page.
We did!
Just Laughing Through the Pain podcast. I think we have a handle, but I can't remember what it is.
How healthy is your page?
It's good.
Apparently it's good.
Oh, maybe I'm...
LTTP podcast?
No, that's Twitter.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyway, this doesn't matter. We have a Facebook page.
We have a Facebook page now.
We already posted a few things on there. So if you want to give that a follow, just Laughing Through the Pain podcast on Facebook. Give us a follow on Twitter, because the beautiful and talented Marianne, I don't know why I'm gesturing to you, they can't see me. The beautiful and talented Marianne has taken it upon herself to manage that, because I don't have the brain capacity to take care of a social media page.
I am your designated social media manager. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even though I have the mental capacity of a goose. Don't ask me what the mental capacity of a goose is. I just imagine it's not great. Because geese are kind of mean.
Well, you're a goose that can use a phone. So
I am a goose that can use a phone. Correct.
Anyway.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Mwah.
Mwah.